here on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Yeah, good morning again. You're welcome to Daily Digest with Jimi Disu, brought to you by MTN. Today is Friday, the last day of the week, the day that I find so exciting because but I'll be back again tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Tomorrow I have Mr. Yemi Kandi Johnson, SAN, and we're going to take another critical look at what the NBA president said concerning appointment of appeal court judges. What I got to know is he probably said something near that, but it wasn't for public consumption. And I think he will learn the lesson of all of us have learned. If you don't want anybody to hear anything, just don't say it. In this country, you can hear anything. If you want to know what Buhari has just said 10 minutes ago, there are some people who will tell you word for word, full stop for full stop, semicolon for semicolon. Right. So this morning, when Sheriff asked me this morning, he said, "What are you going to talk to us about at 9?" To be honest with you, I just wasn't prepared. I'm in one of those tired modes, my brain don't die, it's half dead. But we'll get by. I told Sheriff, I asked Sheriff if he has gotten the whatever it is, the Funpa, what this thing that he gave us. I said, it's a vaccine. Yeah, vaccine. Vaccine. So he said he hasn't gotten it, and he was looking worried. I said, Sheriff, they'll soon be hawking the thing in traffic. Very soon you'll be able to go to town council and get like yellow fever now. You go to very soon if care is not taken, you'll be able to get the card signed that you have. Nigeria is a funny country. You will get signed paper that you have gotten the vaccination and you are good to go. Second base, today is Friday. Let's have a bit of fun. I don't want to wear myself out, but I'm a bit concerned. Inspired by Sheriff, I must say, because about the attitude to not just the teachers, to be honest, but to the civil servant. You see, what we keep talking about civil servants being corrupt, and so on and so politicians being corrupt, and I say that it's not an excuse, but it's a reality. When the man has an obligation, he has to meet certain obligations, statutory meaning he has to pay house rent, send children to school, do this, do that. His matter becomes a matter of what you call beg, borrow, or steal. Or what my good friend Emmanuel Coca and I would say when we were in university, listening to Yellow Man back in 75. His matter becomes a matter of motor vehicle and manslaughter. Because he must find the money. If you have, I maintain that the permanent secretary cannot leave on Bode Thomas and send just one child to a private school. One. He can't on the salary. So we've been living a lie all along, and therefore, and then what is even worse is, what makes it such that a man cannot get his gratuity on the last day in office? How is it done in other countries? Why is our country any different? To the best of my knowledge, in the other countries that I do know, on your very last day in office, given the electronics, before it used to be a handshake and an envelope with the check inside. These days, I think on your last day in office, either on your way home in the train or when you wake up early in the morning, you will get 2 SMSs. One is a message congratulating you. The other is an alert to tell you that it don't reach, it don't touch button. But here we treat everybody with contempt, and what is sad is that our politicians, they take very good care of themselves. Very good care of themselves. Look at members of the House of Assembly, they're not by motor. They have cars now. Does the governor not have official car? Palmsec all. So what's the difference between them and a teacher? The difference is, one is more important than the other. A teacher is more important to me than any member of the House of Assembly. I'm telling you, because to be honest with you, I'll be very honest. My opinion is that I can't see what they do. But the good thing is that Desmond Elliott has indicated that he would love to have a chat with me on radio, and I can't wait to have him. The first question I'm going to ask him, if he's not here, somebody should tell him, is I want to leak the question. So I don't want to hear I'm not prepared. First question I'm going to ask him is, Oga, what is written on your payslip? What is the total amount every month when you get an alert? How much is it?
He will not come again now.
Let him not come. Let him not come. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus these days. I want to give you notice. That's the first question. Because when you read that 13 teachers have been given a car, what are we supposed to be shouting? Up NEPA, hooray. That's arrant nonsense. Arrant nonsense. I tell you this. Some of you don't understand that the reason why I get worked up about things like this is because I've seen a better Nigeria. Even when we were complaining way back then about the way teachers were being treated, we didn't know it was going to get as bad as this. I did my A-levels in comprehensive high school at Ayetoro. I did in comprehensive high school at Ayetoro. I have witness. My own nobby say, I didn't just pick any school. I have enough witnesses. I have Sheyi Oduto, so many of them. Sheyi Oduto, Deji Oshibogun, all of them. We're all in school together. We're all in school together. And I saw the way teachers were being treated. In comprehensive high school at Ayetoro, everybody was accommodated on the school premises. Everybody. We had what you call junior staff quarters. Then we had medium staff quarters, flats. Then we had senior staff quarters. The principal's house was on a small hill. A nice bungalow, beautiful. The late chauffeur, may he so rest in peace. Beautiful bungalow. That's where he was. Then for us, I joined them in lower 6. And I remember my good old classmate, in case he's listening, Makiti, Dele, and we were two in a room. And they were purpose built. I had a bed, I had a table and chair, and I had a visitor's chair. And guess what? As soon as the Americans handed the school over to Nigerians, the first thing that went was the audiovisual lab. They took away the audiovisual lab, mechanical lab, all the things that the Americans put in place. This was a school way back. I'm talking of 74 now. We had a swimming pool. Yes, we did. We had what we call the conference center. I think it could accommodate about 40. It had about 40 rooms. And it was used, those were utilized when you had foreigners come and do exchange and all kinds of things. I remember Mr. Paul Delaney, a Canadian. I've never forgotten his name. The Canadians came, about 20 of them or so, and it was an exchange program. And I remember it was during the vacation, so school laws did not apply. You drink and whatever till 1, 2 a.m. And I remember how, I'm not encouraging anybody, I'm just telling the truth, due diligence. How we used to go and buy all kinds of agbanya and things from junior staff quarters. And I remember my good friend of blessed memory, I can't mention his name, but I can see my good friend, the captain. If he's not in the air, I can see him smiling. My good friend, he had a farm. he had a farm. I won't tell you what was planted at that farm. But all said and done, talking seriously and being this lighthearted because it's a Friday, teachers were well looked after, even students. As soon as I handed the thing over to Nigerians, that was the end. Today, the school has been completely balkanized. The day I went to, it was about 10 years ago, I think that I went to comprehensive high school on that day. I took the late Rose Samai. I took her to former Miss Nigeria. I took her to the school. We went to do something about it. I said, let me take you to my school. As soon as we got to the gate, I started weeping. I turned back. And because I'm very soft-hearted, forget all this shakara that I do. Uncle Jimmy is very hard. He's tough. No, inside me, it melts very easily. I just turned back. Back to Lagos now. Here we are. How much do you pay a teacher? You now give 13 of them a car, and what are we supposed to do? Why can't we have a system that makes these things available to us? Why do we... some of the teachers went to the same university that I went to. Well, most of them cannot be in service except those who change their age. Because I think by 65 you should be retired. What's the retirement age? Is it not 60? Even though I still have one or two of my friends who are still in service. From their own records, they must have been 2 years old when we went for they have just... No, don't worry. I know you're listening. I won't mention your name. Sky, good morning. It's not Sky. I just want Sky, good morning. So that he too can laugh at where he is. We had one. The age was having for 2 months. But we all went to the same university together. I know some people who all their lives were determined to be a teacher. And so what do we reward them with? A ballot system that gives them 13 cars. Marshall, it's pity. Look, the next government that we have, because I don't know about this one, the next government that we have, part of the campaign would be to tell us specifically what you want to do about education. And you will write it down and sign it. So that from day one, all of us go enter the same trouser. You know, but because we can't continue like this. Honest to God, we can't continue like this. Our education, we all complain now. Those people in my set, they all complain that even students, graduates, some with master's degree cannot write a simple application. Why? The reason is very clear. Even in the universities, it's not any better. Look, ASU has been on strike now for how long? I even hear that when we were in university, of course, there were some cases of some lecturers trying to hustle some girls and so on and so forth. I hear that now is the girl that will have to go and look for the hotel. That cocoa drink and milk and sugar. And, I mean, we have impoverished that profession. We have bound them to the Philistines. We have made it so that it's almost a shame to be a teacher. Where would I have been but for the likes of the late Mrs. Latunde Dada, of blessed memory, may her soul rest in peace. Mrs. Latunde Dada was the only person who called me Fola all my life. My full name is Fola Jimi. Instead of her to call me Jimmy, Fola, let's hear from you. She taught me English. All the students where they talk is Mrs. Dada. Or the likes of Kerezi. I'm remembering my teachers now. Or Famuroti. What Famuroti was known for, if he grabs you. If he grabs you. Throughout the 5 years, I never went near him with his kid. Well, I remember my teachers. I remember them with so much. I owe a lot to them. But let me tell you what also upsets me most about our attitude to education. Some of the people today who are governors, commissioners, whatever, today, we knew them when we were in school. Some of them couldn't even buy a pair of shoes. You now get into positions of authority, you are the very ones that are killing education bit by bit because you want only you and your children. You want only you and your children to be the only ones. I thank the late. I didn't go to a free education school. I was lucky my parents were able to send me to good schools and so on and so forth. But I cannot thank the late Awolowo enough for the people that I know today who would have been palm wine tappers and so on. I'm not posting, I'm just saying reality of life. I just said that to clear so nobody thinks that I'm being verbose or I'm playing this thing. I just, when the Labour Congress keeps saying they are going to talk about minimum wage, I can't understand it. I'm the president of the NLC. I work in maybe Ministry of Communications. I take home at most maybe about 80,000 or 90,000, some silly amount. And then the man on the opposite side of the desk is negotiating on behalf of government. He takes home 34 million. I don't understand these things. And yet you'll be, these resources are scarce. The resources are scarce. We cannot pay this, we cannot pay that, but you can pay yourselves. The members of the House of Assembly and our government should cover their heads in shame for the way they have treated teachers. Where would they have been without their own teachers? Where would they have been? They say teachers' reward is in heaven. That was before. Teachers' reward now should be on earth. And again, when I say these things, I want to encourage somebody to start a campaign. Let us professionalize the teaching profession. Though having said that, even the profession that is professionalized still, look at the way we treat our doctors. In the days of yore, in a village, you have one person who is a doctor. When he's coming in the morning, you worship the land on which he steps. But we pay premium now only to the rich. Whether he's a vulcanizer today and he's a legislator tomorrow, once he has an SUV and he has built a mansion, so be it. And you think you're going to have a good... That's why everybody is talking about, we want to go to Dudu, I want to go... A lot of people are just frustrated. Unfortunately, they don't know where that frustration lies. 3/4 of those who follow the people who say we want to, yes, I know if we want to go to Dudu, I look at them and say, Don't you know that your problem is domiciled right where you are? Why do you listen to this kind of narrative and believe it? Nigerians are suffering, but they are not suffering for the reasons that their leaders tell them. Like Femi Kuti will say, them bobo, they are being boboed. They keep pointing at other people, but the fault lies within. So let's get our head screwed onto it. Governor Sanwo-Olu, I wonder, you have 2 more years to go. What is the mark you're going to leave in this state that this is what I have done? What is the mark? Because I've told you times with that number, sir, see, I cannot call you Excellency, you don't like that word. I've told you that governance is not about hyping. Governance is not about picking little things. No, governance is making an impact on the lives of the people, everybody, not just a handful. In a state that is suffering from housing, whatever, you just pick one person. We don't know the criteria. I like the woman, I like her movies, she's deserving of it, but so every other person is also deserving of it. So if we are going to handpick somebody, we need the criteria. We need the criteria. It's not about, when I see people who don't understand what it's all about, it bothers me. It's not about hyping. It's not about let us use this access because during the election, she'll be able to come out and campaign. The elections of 2023, I don't want to commit any blasphemy by saying who might be standing, but I think Nigerians are very, very clear now. Nigerians are not interested in the past, or I hope not. They are interested in the future. So Governor Sanwo-Olu, you have 2 more years to leave your mark. Leave your mark so that people like us who said, in spite of all, who said that we have confidence in you, it's hardly ever done for you to have somebody come on air and say, I believe these 2 persons can do it. And some of us did. I had never known you. I knew your opponent. But I publicly said you could do it. And quite a number of people did the same. So what are we going to boast with 2 years from now? More so when you want to seek re-election. I'd like the governor to reflect on these things. To reflect on them seriously. People will say, why is this man criticizing every day? At the end of your tenure, you will know that I was your best friend. Do not listen to these sycophants. Do not, this is not good enough. You probably meant well. But let us see something. I mean, look at the way, history is there. Look at the way, for example, Buba Marwa treated civil servants and teachers. It wasn't completely good, but there were feeble attempts to make their lives more meaningful. Today, teachers and civil servants have become endangered species. So what happens? Everybody goes in for the struggle. Try to make as much as you can. If we feel so concerned, or if we felt so concerned when we upped the remuneration of judges, why didn't we do the same thing for? If you can give a judge a house, car every 4 years, this and that, why can't you do something close to that for the teachers? Because the teachers are the bedrock of development. And one of the reasons why we're where we are today was because your predecessors did not place a premium on education. I don't know, are you a farmer? Maybe I should call in Kiru. I want to know if you plant potato, whether you can harvest banana.
No.
Are you sure?
No, you cannot.
The Lord moves in a mysterious way, his wonders to perform. Are you sure a miracle cannot happen?
No.
You plant potato, then you reap banana.
No.
Let me take a break.
Hello. This is a public service announcement to our dear customers that don't have NIN or are yet to link their NIN to their MTN lines. As mandated by the NCC, MTN will be linking your national identification number, NIN, to the same registration information you have already provided to make the process easy for you. Here are 2 simple ways to get it done. Log on to my MTN app or dial *785*NIN#. If you don't have a NIN, visit www.nimc.gov.ng to find an enrollment center near you. If you have registered but can't remember your NIN, dial *346# with the phone number you registered at enrollment. Please remember, apart from your primary line, you must also link your NIN to all your MTN lines and data SIMs such as MiFi, HiNetflix, and any other line you use on the MTN network. This announcement is very important. To avoid disconnection, all lines must be linked before 6th April 2021.
I'm a very, very big guy, but I don't joke with my giggy bites. So every year get the free guy with this data plan for the midnight. 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. 2 gig, oh boy, I can live the life. IG, TikTok is ready to go, oh boy, I'm feeling fine because 11 to 6 in the morning. IG, TikTok morning. 2 gig there for me. MTN boss, yes, of course,
MTN Pulse. Do you dial *406# to join? Everywhere you go, MTN.
You're listening to Jimi Disu right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Okay, you're welcome back. Very soon we'll open up the lines for you. But look at this story here at the bottom of the teacher story. It says the State House of Assembly has approved 4.4 billion for the procurement of vehicles for official use by ministries, departments, and agencies. I don't know whether teachers are involved in this one. They'll most likely be official cars anyway. But don't forget that we always have this habit. We have this habit where if you've used your car, I think for 4 years or whatever, and you're retiring, you're allowed to take the car home, and so on and so forth. Okay, we'll open up our lines 0700 993 993 993, and the female number is 01465 7190. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook Live. You can see us there. When I say we, because Sheriff is also here, but you cannot see Philip. Philip is always hiding behind the pillar. I wonder why he does that. I think Philip Philip goes to one of these spiritual churches. They told him that your guy that runs his mouth every day, somebody is going to take a shot at him. So he's always hiding behind the pillar. He doesn't know that a bullet can always go through a pillar. First caller today. Good morning, everybody. Hello, good morning. How are you? Who's calling?
I'm actually driving.
You're driving here?
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Don't let last mark you. Who's speaking, please?
It's one of your friends, my Dennis Patrick.
Okay, I know.
Yes, sir. Years ago, one of the ways corruption was fought was car loan. A Volkswagen B2 then was selling for about 800 naira. So teachers could take a car loan and they pay instrumental. The same was for accommodation. Government built houses because if they were to work just by their salaries alone, it's impossible for any of them to even have a radio.
Yes.
And so what was done in those days was government built houses. I didn't know Ogunsoya.
Yes.
And I don't know of other states. But today that is not in existence. And because that is not there, the teacher wants to drive a car, if not for the fact that it will draw necessary attention. Some primary school and secondary school students will be coming to school with cars. And so the teacher is intimidated. And I do believe that someday, reasoning will take its place where we'll be able to do things the way it should be done. Or better than the way it was done. Not necessarily exactly the way it was done in time past, but done better so that we can curb corruption, we can upgrade the system, and at the same time have a better country. I greet you, sir. Good morning.
Morning, I didn't say Patrick. Good morning. Who's next? Morning. Morning.
Yeah, morning, sir.
Morning.
Yes, morning, sir. Thank you for your temerity. Thank you for your truthfulness. thank you for your being a man. Just not everybody just talk at the end of the day. Now, one thing that is baffling me, your constitution has a clause called, that is, whatever anybody you are employing, the whole country must be represented. Every part of the country must be represented. Why is nobody talking about this? Why are they not impressed? These are the things that are not making Nigerians used to be happy. These are the things that are not making the populace loop-sidedness.
Okay, thank you, sir. When you do call, you have a minute, please. So let's try and keep our thoughts together and keep them compact. I'd like a female caller now. Anybody on the female line? No. Ladies, please. You have a female line. The female line, again, is exclusive to you. 01465 7190. Okay, let me take another caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Morning.
This is Pastor Ladipo calling from Morile Gom. Yes, sir. One of the things that bets this deep corruption is the negligence of the civil service and features inclusive. See, sir, I want to tell you, maybe in other way around, we won't say completely that this democracy is a blessing in totality, because these present politicians, they hijacked the entire system. Even for you to get into that teaching profession now, that used to be a noble profession in those days, you have to know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. So all these things give birth to mediocrity and what is leading to where we are today. So the way forward, sir, is just for these teachers themselves to now stand up and say, no, we need so thing to be done. So if they write a petition, protested, somehow, they will get their way through. Thank you, and God bless Nigeria, sir.
Yeah, it'd be nice, for example, if teachers insisted that we want to be remunerated the way the members of the House of Assembly, we want to earn the same thing with them. Do you think there's anything wrong with that?
No, absolutely.
Yeah. Say what is good for the goose is good for the gander. We are pushing our people almost to that point. I must tell you. There's a lot of piece of the graveyard that we have now. Our people are very agitated. Unfortunately, our politicians are wise and moving them in another direction. Some are wise enough to see what is going on. Some are not. But ultimately, you will discover that very soon, very, very soon, people will make demands for what they consider legitimate to them. Okay, I don't want to miss this story. This is a political story, and you have a female voice. Okay. Hello, good morning. Morning.
Good morning, Uncle Jimmy.
Morning. Who's calling?
This is Esther from Lekki County.
Esther. Okay, good morning. Can we have your contribution?
Good morning, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I'm really not happy with the whole system. Sometimes I just wish that I was born during your time. Like,
I still
what
they
you
suffer.
guys enjoy.
I enjoyed in the past, but I still they suffer now today.
No, like, because listening to what you just said about the whole thing, I'm like, are we just moving backward or what? Because I cannot just figure it out. You see a teacher looking haggard, and you be like,
yes.
what? And education is the bedrock of every country. See, any country that is moving forward, look at what they've invested in. Education and skills. Nothing is moving. Nothing, no vocation. Nothing is moving in this country. I am sad. Sincerely, I am sad. This is very unfair. Look at the way politicians are living. Look at the way teachers are living. Who taught these politicians? I don't know, these same teachers, if they are not benefited what they benefited in their own time, what would they be speaking? They'll be on the streets roaming about.
Yes.
What is the hope of this generation? Thank you.
Yeah, you know, when some of us participated in the struggle to bring about democracy. To be honest with you, if I knew this was the kind of democracy we'd end up with, I probably would just have stayed at home. I probably would have left the country anyway. Marty, is that the term they use now? Marty Jakwa. Yeah, well, I don't Jakwa. If I had known, one is not being boastful, but some of us actually put our future on the line for the betterment of this country. That's why when I see people saying I should come and belong to one Oduduwa Republic, I say they must be joking. After I put all my life into making Nigeria the little progress that we've made, I ain't going nowhere. And also a lot of the agitators, to just divert a little bit, they haven't even asked themselves, we want to do, okay, how do you live? Is it by plebiscite? Are you going to have a referendum, or are you going to put yourselves like the children of Israel and get out of Egypt? Are you going and leaving what behind? And then when you then have Oduduwa land, how are you going to set about a new constitution? Who is going to head what? The people who are putting their lives on the line now, all the members of this Yoruba Alliance, this one, all these ones, what will be their share, and so on and so forth. I beg. Anybody who, if you want to be a leader, go contest for election. Our eyes are open. You can't impose your will on us. We will reject it. You can't impose your will. If you want to leave, take a boat. There's some areas of Ilaje, Yoruba land, you can go create an island there. But leave those of us who want to stay. You can't impose your. It was the same Yorubas that fought for independence of this country. What are we talking about here? Look at development everywhere. I beg. The same happens to the East. The first president was Nnamdi Azikiwe. So why should anybody tell you as a Igbo man that you should leave Nigeria? Because your own people, your own governors, your own senators, your own local government chairmen are the ones that are putting you through suffering. Forget the political imbalance. Let's tell ourselves some home truths. It's contractors that feel so much. I know that there's an imbalance and it's not comfortable politically. I admit that. You service chiefs, none from the East. But that's not enough for me to leave. This government is not going to be there forever. 2 years from now, you're going to have another president. So what is it? I mean, second base on that one. There's this story that caught my attention, and I'm sorry I'm repeating it again, but it has a very strong significance, and that is why I call this, I joke, sometimes in a joking manner, I call this man the Professor Emeritus of Politics. And I'm referring to this story here that says that Tinubu is to chair Arewa House lecture in Kaduna. The significance of this is that this gentleman has made a lot of inroads into the North, whether you like him or not, whether you feel that what has been ascribed to post or not. Let's just do, an analysis outside the persons. For you to be able to chair this Arewa House lecture, which is probably the leading event in the North collectively, it shows that you maybe politically up to some point you know your onions. Though life is not like that. It's sometimes when you think you know the most. And I think that our good friend, if there was a way you can phone people who died, it would have been nice if you put a quick phone call through to the late Moshood Abiola to find out what all this could translate to. But it is still significant. And I'd like to know what you feel of it. Now, this is a very emotional issue. I don't want any abuses. I don't want anything. I just want you to tell us the significance. I'm not too bothered on whether you think this man should be president or not. That's not what we're looking at. We're just having a nice academic exercise to keep our brains working and take our minds off some of these other things. And to say, because, in the letter sent to him, sent to the Ashiwaju, the director of the center, Dr. Shuaib Shehu, said this: on behalf of the board and management of the Arewa House Center for Historical Documentation and Research, ABU, we have the privilege and honor to invite Your Excellency to serve as chairman at the 11th Arewa House Annual Memorial Lecture. Okay, it is also the lecture will be given by Simon Lalong, who is the governor of Plateau State. Okay, and so this is a real singular honor for a gentleman who, you see, the funny thing is that politics is not about the best man winning, really and truly. It's about strategic play. Okay, it's about strategic play and how well you can play this game. I believe that a lot of this crisis about Oduduwa Republic and this and that, mark my words, is going to end up in some political arrangement. When we get to that bridge, we will cross it. But I'd like to know what you do think. And like I said, you have just a minute. Please mind your language. And we want to give as many people an opportunity as possible to task their brains and present their views. Okay, let's take the first caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Morning, who's calling?
Thank you very much. You have Mr. Sam calling from Kurudu.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I am not too young and I'm not too old, but at least I have witnessed democracy in Nigeria right from the time of Shagari.
Yes.
Now, like the case of Tinubu, I think the man has paid his own price to keep this nation together, and more especially in democratic settings.
Yes.
There was a time his life was under threat. He, among others, fought for this democracy that we are enjoying today.
Yes.
So I believe he deserves that respect and honor.
Yes.
Because some of the people that are enjoying this democracy today,
yes,
that are money back, they were not in this country when the country was heated up. And when the people that were fighting for this democracy put their life online. But today they will just come up and castigated this man as if he has done nothing for this country. So he deserves, if he want to contest for presidency, why not? If not.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
I think the man deserves to enjoy what he...
Thank you, sir. I will refer your case to Mrs. Chidi because you ran a 1-minute commercial for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You ran a 1-minute commercial for him. But I will grant you amnesty. So don't leave your town. Don't run to Edo to take the next bus that will take you to wherever. All right, but please, what we actually want you to discuss is we're not talking about whether he's deserving or not, but I'd just like to get a feel of how people read that, that move, what their reading of it is. That's what we want, not whether he'd make a good president or not. That's a story for another day. But let's take another call. Hello, good morning. Oh, we lost that one. Hello.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Morning.
Good morning, Uncle Jimmy. My name is Taye. I'm calling from Etiosa.
Yes, Taye, how are you? Tayo, sorry. Sorry.
Yes, I'm Obinu, sir. Uncle Jimmy, I've been enjoying your program all this while, even concerning the teachers you are talking about. It's not only teachers, in other professions too. When we take one profession more than the other, it's not possible. It cannot stand. We are a team worker. So the things has to be done in a normal way. If you prefer one to the other one will suffer. And without the other one, the things cannot stand. So that is my own contribution. Though the teachers, they relegated them so much, so low, which we don't really want. We want them to put them in the forefront. Because without the teachers, all of us cannot be where we are today. So, and also, Uncle Jimmy, you remind me now, you mentioned my place. Is there anybody that doesn't want to stay in us on this land? They should take a boat and go to one place called Elijah. I am a food Elijah. We are known people. We are well educated, Uncle Jimmy.
I did not say that. Sorry.
Baba.
Okay, wait. To resolve. Okay, I did. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Let us come. Let them know that we are there.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. These are the things. People like the lady who called in, they are the ones who keep me sane and keep my interest in this nonsense job I'm doing. I'll be honest with you. But for people like her, Cherif is having a good laugh. Because with what she has done now, she has so cooled me down. And my ledger people, sorry, I didn't take it. Don't mind that lady, don't mind that. I didn't mean it that way. You are my people. One of these days, I'll even pay an official visit to the place. Maybe they give me a chief. It's high time I became a chief self. How can I be carrying ordinary minister? It's high time. I became a chief. If I can't become a chief in Lagos, I can become a chief in Nigeria. I know what to do. If I go to Ondo State, I'm sure I'll end up getting a chieftaincy title, if you know what I mean. You don't know what to do. The other person you spoke to yesterday, you don't think they can organize chieftaincy title for me?
Oh, yes.
Koyeni.
We can arrange.
Don't worry. When I'm going home now, I'll drop you at Tony Road. Sit down with Papa and Mama. Morning, Papa and Mama, in case you're listening. Okay, there is this human angle story I'd just like to call your attention to, and I saw it in the Vanguard. And it says here, she was a witch, says man who stabbed a 98-year-old woman to death in Enugu. And it says that Chinedu Ugweze, who allegedly stabbed a 98-year-old woman identified as Oyibo Gidi to death at her apartment in Ovoko, Igweze, South Local Government Area of Enugu State, has accused his victim of witchcraft. Ugweze, in his confessional statement before he was handed over to the police, said he killed the woman because she was causing spiritual setback to members of his community. You know, there's a lot of that. There's a story that went viral of one small boy. I think he was about 3. He was rescued by some Oyibo people, you know, and they had accused him of witchcraft, spiritual and whatever.
He's grown now.
He's grown, yeah, and he's a regular guy. Ugweze also confessed to the murder of a 55-year-old man identified as Joseph Ogbonna in the same community. But a member of the community who pleaded anonymity debunked the witchcraft claim of the suspect, adding that he murdered his victim because she had a huge sum of money she got from the sale of their family land, and that the deceased family decided to give her some percentage of the money since she did not marry out of the family, and so on and so forth. My major concern here is how we suddenly find ourselves, if you go to a doctor who is not fully competent, the doctor will be telling you, I think this thing we do this man here, I think it is spiritual. That is the new thing now. It's when I say new, for somebody of my age, when I was growing up, I never heard about anything spiritual. Either you went to hospital or you are dead. But we do things. Instead of us to take a critical look at the things we have done, we always say, oh, it was spiritual, it is witchcraft, it is this and it is that. Well, this gentleman is going to be charged for murder. Definitely. He's going to be charged for murder. He will have his day in court. Okay? And, I mean, how do you murder a 98-year-old woman? 98-year-old woman. And you say it's because she was a witch. I'd like to ask a lawyer whether you can claim spiritual whatever. I wish I could put the call through to liberals, but I don't have time anymore. Whether you can make a spiritual claim to some of the things you've done or attribute it to witchcraft. I don't know how the judge will sort that out. They probably tell you that the judge himself is part of the network of witches and wizards. Second base, Jerry. Let me take 1 or 2 more calls and I'm out of here. Hello, good morning. We lost that one. Hello, good morning. Oh, Solomon, will you stop this? I will report you to the man now.
Go ahead. Jimi Solomon is my name.
Of course.
I get here in the yard to me. Yes. Anyone back pay kuni. I get here Solomon. That one aside. This issue of cessation that we want to go away, that you make mention of. Look, I've said it time without number. Those who are asking for Yoruba nation should just prepare their mind. After you get I don't say you should not get it. So after you get it, just have it at the back of your mind. There's one boy called Solomon. He's from Egba. I will ask for my own Egba nation too. Thank you.
Well, there we go. Then after the Egba, then the people of Lantoro will ask for theirs, and it will go all the way down the line. But anyway, Honorable Fadoki, you know, I said here that we are not Yorubas, we Lagosians. Gedigbe Lekowa. So this should not concern me personally. Let me take one more caller, female caller preferably, and wrap up. Okay, so let me take one more call. Hello, good morning. All right, we lost that, so I got to go. All right, tomorrow. Hello.
Hello. Oh, good morning.
Quickly, 1 minute, sir. Quickly.
Okay, Jimi, how are you? Thank you for this your topic today.
Yes.
The first one for teachers. For me to say, my name is Sam. But teachers, I didn't actually like the way teachers are being treated.
Yes.
And most of us we benefited from the teaching profession.
Yeah.
When you were going down the memory lane, I was just remembering my own those that taught me. I think the government can do better. And come to think of it, what is the politicians of today, sir?
Yes.
Is because it is cash and carry.
Yes.
If you look at somebody like Jack Onde, he was living at Ilupeju there. We can trek to his house. You see him sitting down in the front of his house. No security, nothing guiding him. Both of our councillors, our governors.
Okay, sir, thank you. I think your point is noted. Like I said, we have just a minute. I'm sorry, time is not our best friend. I got to get out of here. Collins he said he's bobbing up at the door there. I'd like to thank you all for listening. Sheriff, I can never thank you enough for all the support that you've given me. Your reward will be here. It will not be in heaven. Amen. No, you will get both. You will get here, and I will make sure I will pray fervently. I will go to heaven before you. So I'll be there to receive you at the appropriate time. Why are you? So you want me to go before you? Mama will let you.
That's good. That's good.
All right, this is where we're going to end today. My name is Jimi Disu. Tomorrow we have the discourse, and I have Yemi Candid Johnson. And Yemi Candid Johnson, SAN, is a candid man. He's going to give his views he's going to lay his whatever out in a very good manner. And to prepare you, next week Saturday, stand by. Ali Baba is going to be in the house. Good morning, everybody.
Yellow. This is a pop.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.